Hey, what's going on, Trojan family? What is up, LA? Welcome to the USC LAFB show here on the LAFB network. We are Los Angeles Sports, bringing you everything USC. Thank you always for making this a part of your day. I couldn't stay away for more than 24 hours. Had to come back. Was just on yesterday. We talked about this Notre Dame, USC drama, I guess, if you will. I'm not going to talk anymore. I talked about it for 20 minutes yesterday, so you can watch that right up on the USC LFB channel, or it's on LFBnetwork.com. But in true USC fashion, at least as of late, when nationally there is negative talk about USC, I put all my points yesterday about why I understand where USC is coming from in this Notre Dame thing. I think it's going to get worked out. I don't think the game's going anywhere. But nationally, it's been painted as this negative cloud on USC, that USC is running away, blah, blah. It's, I told you yesterday, I'll say it again, like, take the smoke, like, right? Like, everyone wants to hate on USC. Enjoy it. Enjoy the smoke. But in USC fashion, when the national news is negative, they seem to just drop big, great news right after it. Bring the haymaker out. I think my buddy USCJ posted something about, like, they bring the right hook, the left hook, the haymaker, and the knockout blow whenever there's anything negative. That happened again today in multiple facets in recruiting. So, quick little video here on a Friday night. Hope everyone's enjoying. We're in a rain delay of the Dodger game. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to jump on here. I'm covering the Dodgers game for work. We're on a rain delay still in New York against the Mets. So let's jump on and talk some USC football recruiting. So 2 commitments shut down the recruiting, which we know that should kind of happen with all the recruits, but, it always helps when they publicly announce it, with this new kind of philosophy that Chad Bowden has instilled with the recruiting practices and within the program. But 2 today announced again. So Jaimeon Winfield, the 8th ranked defensive tackle in the class, been committed to USC for a while now, shuts down his recruitment, no more visits. Only visit on the schedule now is his official visit to USC. Locked in. So barring anything unforeseen, he will be a Trojan come signing day. Again, I know there's mixed emotions kind of about this philosophy of kind of making kids, when they commit, that's it, no more visits. I know there's obviously, because of the decommitment of Xavier Griffin, there's a little mixed reviews on it. We'll have to see it a couple years before we have a true grade or gauge on it. But by and large, in practice, I'm for it. I've said all along, like, I would rather tell a kid, hey, if you're unsure, don't commit yet. If you want to keep visiting and we're going to keep recruiting you, we want you to be here, but don't commit yet. Like, cool, go on your visits. But once you commit here, that's it. Like, you're committed. Lock in. You're not dating anyone else. You don't tell a girl, hey, I don't want to date anymore, and then go date more. It's not marriage, right? Like, things can happen. Unforeseen things happen. You end up deciding, you know what, I just want to be closer to home a few months later. Like, that can certainly happen. But you're not actively dating still, right? Like, if you and a girl, or you and whoever, a partner, decide, you're locked in, you're committed to each other, you're not just going to be dating behind their back. So that's how I've always felt. But anyway, I digress. We've talked about that a lot. So Jaimeon Winfield, locked in, shuts down his commitment. Super talented kid. This is a huge get by Henny. Has a lot of versatility across the defensive line. Finished, just let me pull up here for those that don't know. Last year, so he's an interior guy, right? About 300 pounds, big body dude. Last year, junior season, finished with 45 tackles, 22 of those for loss, 8.5 sacks, 25 QB pressures. That's like Aaron Donald level pressures from the interior. And he, blocked 2 field goals. So, interior strength, quickness, lateral movement. This is a guy that Coach Henny is going to make better and better, and he's just going to be a force on this defensive line. And he's actually the 7th-ranked defensive lineman, not the 8th. 7th-ranked defensive lineman in the 26th class, according to On3 industry rankings. And, obviously, for those who don't know, he's out of Texas. So, this is huge. Anytime you get a kid to lock in, take no more visits, because those visits are where kids get flipped. right? That's how USC flipped Jonas Williams. That's how they flipped Tamahuni Tapui. Because you get kids that are committed to come to campus, you show them all you can offer, rile them up, make them feel good, then you're on flip watch. If they're not visiting anywhere, there's really no fear of that happening. Coaches will still probably try to call and whatnot and text. Very different than when you're on campus kind of getting wined and dined. So huge news there. The other one, he's been committed forever. One of the first commitments in the 2026 class, Sierra Canyon 3-star receiver, Jaimeon or Tron Baker. Felt like he was locked in and, shutting it down anyway, but officially today announced he is as well shutting his recruitment down, being one of these great receivers in this class. In the tutelage of Chad Savage and Chad Simmons, Dennis Skimmons, I think will help him go a long way. So great local commit in terms of Baker. He's locked in. Recruitment shut down as well. No more visits for him. Another big one. So those are both great, but I think here's the biggest news happening. This is huge. RJ Surmans, depending whatever ranking website you're on, the number one ranked cornerback in the 25 class, 5-star, even within all of them or whatever, he's top 2, I think. Some have Arrington 1, some have him 1, and some have Elbert Hill, I think 1, so, which Elbert Hill is a USC commit as well. RJ Surmans, top 3, however you want to look at it, corner in the whole class, 5-star, reclassifying to the 25 class. So here we are in May. He's going to be on campus in July, joining the active roster for USC right now. This is huge for a number of reasons. One, for this season, we talked a lot of 2026 recruiting, but we have a whole 2025 season to play out. So you get a 5-star kid that, is probably going to be a little raw because he's young. He should only be a senior in high school, similar to Jakeem Stewart. But now you get him on campus early. You get him in the system. You get him to get developed by Trevon Reed, by Coach Belk, by Coach Lynn, around the kids, around campus. So, even though he was also, locked in, I don't think there was any fear by anyone in the program of anyone flipping him. December's still a long way away. Programs are going to try. When you're that elite, you're going to get phone calls from Dan Lanning. You're going to get phone calls from Kirby Smart. Like, there's still going to get lurking programs that are maybe going to try and persuade here and there. Well, that's gone. That's done because he's, now he's going to be on campus in 2 months, signing into USC now in the 25 class. So you avoid all that. Again, I don't think there's any fear of that, but you avoid any potential of drama there. 2, you add him now to this already loaded cornerback room. So let me just read you these names that is in the room currently. And projected starters, we're probably looking at DJ Harvey, probably DeCarlos Nicholson, and then Prophet Brown's probably your nickel corner. Marcellus Williams, who's going to be redshirt freshman, definitely will vie for that starting spot. Braylon Conley has gotten rave reviews in spring camp of the trajectory and his improvement and development that he's had. Isaiah Rubin out of Los Al, a guy a lot of people forgot about in the 24 class, but I talked to Coach Belk extensively actually about him at the kind of coaches brunch or whatever we had, a few weeks ago, and he spoke very highly of Isaiah Rubin and his versatility and kind of how he can play similar to what Jalen Smith did in his career at USC, playing safety, playing slot corner, playing outside corner. So those are kind of your 6 probably rotational guys. I mean, I think DJ Harvey is locked in to be kind of your CB1, if you will. But Nicholson, obviously the vet, beloved. He's going to get a lot of playing time. And Prophet Brown, beloved as well, team leader, probably a captain, playing a lot probably in the nickel. And then those young guys are going to get plenty of reps. Then you look at the newcomers, right? Just in this freshman class, Treston Castro out of Upland, highly touted, physical, one of the top corners in the 2025 class. Alex Graham, who they flipped last minute from Colorado out of Michigan, another highly touted corner. James Johnson has gotten rave reviews. I think he was a 3-star, I think, so not as maybe high profile. But again, the stars don't always tell the whole story. Coaches love him. Obviously, might be involved in the return game as well. Kevin Longstreet came over from Texas A&M when his brother Husan Longstreet flipped. And now you add RJ Surmans to that. a 5-star. So you have a loaded cornerback room this year, but you don't have like a true pecking order. Like it's wide open. And so RJ Surmans is going to have the ability to compete, to play, and get valid reps as a true freshman. And if he doesn't end up getting on the field, he's getting those valid practice reps. So then instead of coming in as a true freshman in 26, he'll now be a redshirt freshman if he doesn't play, and the favorite to be a starter because of all those reps within the system. The coaches know him, getting developed by that. So his learning curve will be so much farther ahead. And when guys like DJ Harvey, DeCarlos Nicholson, Prophet Brown probably are all going to be gone after this year just due to age, that's 3 openings, and he could slide right in, plus obviously the 26 class we'll talk about. So huge implications for the here and now, very positive. And then when you look at the future, so the 26 class, there's no arguing. USC had the deepest and most talented cornerback class out of any program in 26. When you have RJ Surmans, Elbert Hill, Brandon Lockhart, those 3 alone are top 10 in every recruiting system out there. And then you add in Joshua Holland, very talented 3-star to St. John Bosco. Madden Riordan, I think most people have as a safety. He could probably play corner as well. I have him listed more as a safety. So sticking strictly with corner, you have those 4 super talented. USC could have added one more even with Surmans there, but likely would have been fine with just those 4, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing by any means. But what this allows now, with him going to 25 class, so now you have 3 corners left in your 26 class, 26 total commits. It gives you another option to add a corner out of the elite corners still available. So you kept the elite corner in RJ Surmans, and now you can get the benefit of adding another elite corner. And when you think of the likes of Brandon Arrington, official visit coming up here in June, set to announce July 5th. It's either him or Surmans as corner 1 in this class, however you want to rank it. If he wasn't as much of a possibility just because of the depth they already had, now that skyrockets. Devon Benjamin, Oaks Christian, another local kid, 4th-ranked corner in the class. He was trending USC. Once USC landed Elbert Hill and RJ Surmans, he started trending a little more to Oregon. I think that was more so due to just how many guys in the class. That now can shift. Devon Benjamin all of a sudden becomes potentially a priority. And lastly, and there's other names out there too, I'm just giving you 3. Lastly, and this is a real possibility, Havon Finney out of Sierra Canyon, who's the 6th-ranked corner, was trending heavy to USC, building a great relationship with Trevon Reed and Doug Belk. Well, a few weeks ago, he ended up committing to LSU. He's on flip watch now. I'm not saying I've talked to any sources yet. This just happened. But in my opinion, Havon Finney's on flip watch. And USC now can target all those 3 much more aggressively because of having the opening that RJ Surmans now leaves by going to 25. So the strategic advancement of what this does is monumental. And so it benefits the program, it benefits RJ Surmans, and it's just really going to have a positive impact on all parties at B. Real quick, I'll just share what so he said. This is Surmans told On3, what excites me about beginning college now is that I will be developing and learning on another level. It's time to take the next step on my journey and continue to chase greatness. Me and my family talked about it and believe this is the best thing to do. His father, RJ Surmans Sr., who was a running back at USC, so legacy, told 24/7 Sports, there's definitely room at that position for someone to step up and be the guy. Sometimes it takes playing in the Coliseum for that guy to take over and say, I'm not coming off the field. USC also plays 7 to 12 defensive backs sometimes. They rotate a lot of players in their secondary, but every team is looking for solid corners that can take at least 80% of the snaps. So I kind of touched on a bunch of that anyway. USC loves to rotate. They love to have versatility. It's kind of wide open for who really seizes that starting role, but they'll have a rotation regardless. So that's what they said about the decision But this is huge, guys. I mean, this is a really big move because you lock in your top commit from 26, but now you get him on campus now, and now you have more flexibility to add another top commit in 26. So you look at the 26 class, if you could have said to anyone that USC, and again, this isn't done yet, like you still got to potentially get Arrington or Benjamin or Finney, but if they do get one of those three, then they will have had, including Surmans, 4 top 10 corners in the class. Plus Joshua Holland, who's no slouch. He just happens to be a 3-star. But dude can play. Plays at Bosco. That is amazing. That is impressive. That is Doug Belk, Danton Lynn, Trevon Reed masterclass. And if, obviously, this was a working relationship with RJ Surmans and his family discussing, but obviously USC as well discussing if this was a possibility and how they could make this work and how the credits work and whatnot. So all the work behind the scenes, I think are going to pay dividends. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, this is huge. So, yeah, while the national media is talking about USC Notre Dame and wanting to blame USC for that, they're just going to keep stacking wins, at least in the recruiting game. But let me know what you guys think. I have a question up on our new forum on LAFBnetwork.com. Head to the forum. Chat there. Would love to get people more involved in that. We're trying to grow it. It's brand new. Trying to grow it up to see what kind of engagement we can get. It's free. No charge like the other sites. Obviously, comment below if you're on YouTube. USC LAFB is the YouTube channel. Please hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton here at LAFB. If you do want to listen on audio, Apple, Spotify, just search Salute to Troy. And as I always say, everything can be found on LAFBnetwork.com. You guys have an absolutely fantastic weekend. We'll see if this Dodger games picks up again here from the rain delay. But have a great weekend, and as always, fight on.